Okay. Mutual fund managers use a lot of famine and fringe factors plus momentum factors. It's kind of the more conventional model for trying to earn above average earnings. Wormers, another author, funds show positive gross alphas and negative net alphas after controlling for fees and risk. So this one actually controls for fees and risk, whereas remember when we were looking at the hypothesis in the last chapter, we said that there just wasn't any fees or taxes or risk involved. Or no, we did say there was risk, but there wasn't any fees or taxes. And then Carhart said there's a minor persistence in relative performance across managers, largely due to the expense of the transaction cost and the transaction cost. So this is, things that affect our mutual fund managers and them making the decisions that they're making. Another element that's come into play in the last few years here that's not mentioned here is fiduciary responsibility among mutual fund managers, where up until just a few years ago, a mutual fund manager can make a decision based on a form of either kickback or earning that they got from choosing to go with a specific stock. Now that is against the law, they have given what they call fiduciary responsibility to these individuals, so that they need to make their decision based solely on the best investment for their client and not for themselves or not for anything that they receive out of it. Burke and Green, skilled managers with abnormal performance will attract new funds until additional cost. The complexity drives the alphas down to zero. So good managers will eventually get more and more funds until complexity drives the alpha, the change between my expected return and my return, down to nothing. Chin, Pearson, and Peters, on average, bond mutual funds outperform passive bond indexes in gross returns and underperform once fees are subtracted. All right, move on from there. More about mutual fund managers. Kosowski, Timmerman, Wormers, and White. Stock pricing ability of a minority of managers sufficient to cover the cost, performance, and persists over time. So the stock price ability of minority of managers is sufficient to cover cost, meaning that they can cover the cost of what they're doing, their job, covering their own cost. If the performance persists over time, then it's even better. Samuelson says records of most managers show no easy strategies for success. So when he went and looked at actually how people were beating the market or doing better, there wasn't just one given strategy that we used in order to figure out exactly how the market worked. All right, this is a mutual fund alpha computed using a four-factor model from 1993 to 2007. So the vertical axis is the four-factor alpha percentage per month. I'm sorry, the frequency is a percent on the vertical axis, and the four-factor alpha is a percentage per month on the bottom, the horizontal axis. Bars rise from 1% at a factor between -2 and -1.67 to over 20% for the two factors between 0 and 0.67. Bars drop to 10% between 0.67 and 1.0, and 4% factors that are 1.0 to 1.67. So you can see as the alphas approach or hang around 0, that their frequency is substantially higher. All right, this is the 10 decile lines that vary greatly in terms of average monthly excess return during the formation year, but come together to be fairly consistent. So the formation year of an organization and their monthly excess returns, and notice that they're all over the board when it starts and then starts to converge as we get to 5 years plus, which makes sense because here we got the least amount of information, and as we gather more information and understand the company better, it should be more and more accurate. All right, figure 8.9, risk-adjusted performance ranked by quarter. This is the quarterly return percentage over the performance decile and ranking. So the post-ranking quarter begins at 1.0 and 0.5, which is right here. Yeah, 1.0 and 0.5, that's about right. And drops to 2.0 for the performance decile ranking, and then decreases slowly until the 9th quartile, where it drops slightly again. Ranking, the quarter begins at 1.5 and drops to 2.2. So this is the risk-adjusted performance and ranking quarter. So this is how much our approximations of risk are actually working out for us when we adjust for the performance. This is after it actually occurs. So then the real question you get down to is, are markets efficient? And they're efficient enough that only differentially superior information will earn money, professional managers' margin of superiority is likely too slight for statistical significance. And that is it for Chapter 8.